Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're viewing from. This is Laura Thompson with TAAN TV, and we're doing a super special uh, event today and all month long. We're celebrating Women's History Month because it's Women's History Month, y'all. And so
Wow.
we are celebrating great women in San Antonio and across the country, and we want to have a special conversation with Dr. Rock. She is going to be talking about some things that she's done and some things that she's doing leading up to it.
Yeah.
But before we get started with the interview, Dr. Rock, first, welcome and happy Women's History Month to you.
Hi. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, no problem. I wouldn't do this special month without having you involved in it because you've done some great things and you continue to do great things
Thank
uh,
you.
in our community and in the business community. And you help people. So,
Thank
I
you.
like to talk to help people. And so
Right.
before we get started, if you could just give us, a little bit of background information on you, like where you're from, what you do, a little
Okay.
bit about how you grew up and where.
Okay. Well, hey, I am Raquel Bonds Wright, also known as Dr. Rock. I'm from San Antonio. So I'm from San Antonio. I grew up in San Antonio. And I grew up in my parents. They married at a young age at 18 and 21, I believe it was. And so we were homeowners. So we grew up on the east side of San Antonio in Huntley Park. And
Okay.
I am so happy that I actually bought my childhood home from them. I didn't want to get rid of it. So I still own my childhood home. So I'm very happy about that. And I made it a rental property. So I love that. Um, what I do now is I am a real estate broker. I'm a real estate broker here in San Antonio. I'm the founder of a couple of companies, my Realty House, which is my real estate brokerage. Then I have real estate investing with Dr. Rock, which I take time to teach people real estate investment for generational wealth, to build generational wealth. I have the credit life where I help people with their credit, get an understanding of what credit is. You wouldn't believe how many people have never seen a credit report. We just had a class on it and people got to see actually what a credit report looks like. And
Wow.
then I also have Empowered and Unstoppable. That's a company that I founded to where we're helping people get back on track that are dealing with mental health. And when I say mental health, I don't mean somebody that's just having a all down breakout, nervous breakdown. What I'm saying is people that have been through grief, people that have been raped, abused, and how to get back on track. I am a rape survivor. I was raped and held hostage. I had to escape. And so Empowered and Unstoppable is my baby because that's even helped me get through what I've been through as a woman. Because some people don't think rape is something serious, and it is. And
Mm,
so my Empowered and Unstoppable is dedicated to what I've been through as a rape survivor.
wow.
So that's part of my story. And so real estate have always been the part where I'm able to help people that no one wants to help. When I got into the industry, there wasn't a lot of Black people in my industry. And so my goal was to help as many Black people get in homes, because what was happening when I got in, they was telling Black people that they had to put 20% down, and that was not the truth. So I was helping families that had 400 credit scores get into
Wow.
homes when I got in the industry back in the early 2000s. So that's a little bit about me.
Wow. So, a lot of times we do all these things
Yeah.
and, and people just see us rushing around and they don't really know, what you do. They just kind
Yeah.
of know that there's Dr. Rock again or there's Raquel again.
Right.
I
Right.
really don't know. And so the purpose of this interview is to kind of let people know, but
Yes.
also people know, how you got there. So you can help
Yes.
other women. But I remember meeting you probably in the mid 2000s, maybe before you got your real estate license. I'm not sure, but I would just see you walking around. I didn't know you were in real estate then. I just knew that you had something in you,
Wow.
uh, some greatness in you, and I'm like, who is this lady? She's very professional. very well put together,
Thank you.
beautiful smile. But, what does she do? I didn't know.
Right.
And I really didn't, sometimes you just don't have time to sit down and hear everybody's story.
Right.
So I remember when you first started, I think in the real estate, you were very new.
Yes.
Somebody recommended you, and we invited you to one of the Sisters in Business luncheons, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I met you,
Yeah.
but so you grew up on the East Side.
I did. I grew up on the East Side. I graduated from Sam Houston High School.
Okay, it's a
Yeah.
lot of prominent people that come out of Sam Houston High School. So what was it like growing up on the East Side? Uh,
So I grew up in the church. So my
okay.
mother shielded us. Even though my father didn't go to church with us every Sunday, he was like, go to church. Y'all go to church. Your mom, get on that church bus. So even though we grew up on the East Side, we grew up in a subdivision. So we never moved because my parents were homeowners. So we grew
Mhm.
up in a subdivision where veterans were retiring, moving into our subdivision. When we moved there, it was a white subdivision when we got in Huntley Park. And then
Mhm.
Black people started coming into Huntley Park, and veterans, retirees, all of those guys started coming to Huntley Park. So I grew up in the church. I didn't go to my prom in Sam Houston. I didn't go to dances. My mother, and I thank God how my mother raised me. I know some people are probably angry. Then I wasn't as happy, but I'm very happy how my mother raised me.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
think growing up on the East Side was not very that hard as far as my growing up in my subdivision, because everybody knew everybody. Everybody protected your children in the
Mhm.
subdivision, and then I had the church. And so going to high school. Now, high school was a little rough. I was like, high school was a little rough, because you had a lot of different people coming from different areas. And so it was a little rough. So I was just happy to get out of San Houston. But as far as who I am, I feel was embedded through my parents and from the church. That's what I
Wow.
feel.
So were you involved in any high school activities or activities?
I did tennis. So I tried to do tennis and I didn't really like it. I'm like, this is not, but my mother, so growing up in the church, I was a runner. So I love to run. And so track was my thing, but my mother wouldn't let me run because she felt it was too tomboyish and I was having to wear dresses all the time. So I didn't play really any sports in high school. No,
Wow. So
yeah,
so no singing in the choir,
no.
no.
A choir at the church. At the church, I sung in the choir.
Oh, okay. You got to
Yeah, I sung
sing.
in the choir at church.
Yeah, that's why I asked. You got a singing voice. So you grew up, you graduated from Sam Houston High School, and
Yeah.
so after that, what did you kind of realize what you wanted to do while you were in high school, or when did you decide kind of what you
Wow.
wanted to do?
So this is what happened. My dad kept pressuring me to go be X-ray technician. That's what it was. My dad wanted me to be an X-ray technician. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. But in my heart, I knew I always wanted to be a business owner, but I didn't know what that looked like and what the steps of that would be. So I really didn't understand how to be a business owner. And then I remember one day my dad and I having words. And my dad was like, you just need to go get a job and stay there 25 years and retire and this and that. And I remember, not trying to be disrespectful to my father, but I was like, why can't I own the business? And
Right.
my
Wow.
dad immediately got quiet. Like my dad like shut down and he was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. You can own the business. And at that point, he never bothered me again about being a business owner. Because
Wow. So
business being a business owner is a lot of work.
it is. It is. People think come to events and smile, and that's it,
Right.
and shake hands and give out business cards, but
It's
it's
more than that.
right,
Yeah, it's
right.
way more than that. So, yeah, so business was something that I always wanted. And I just didn't know what kind of business. But what happened was I was living in Dallas. And this girl said, hey, why don't you go? I didn't have a job when I moved to Dallas. I just moved there. And she said, why don't you go talk to these people at this mortgage company? I was like, girl, I don't know how to do mortgages. She was like, just go talk to them. So I went and this man interviewed me. And he was sitting up on this high desk and he interviewed me and he looked down at me and said, after interviewing me and said, I think you will do well in this industry. So I'm gonna give you an opportunity. and he gave me an opportunity. And I learned in Dallas, and then I brought it back to San Antonio. Many families in San Antonio become homeowners versus renting, so that we would have something to pass on to our kids, except for rent. So that's what made me come back to San Antonio. I started teaching people credit. I opened up a credit business, and I started teaching people credit. Get your credit in order. I was fixing people credit, and then I went back over to the mortgage side, and then I started making them homeowners. Then after I finished that, I retired from that. After 11 years, I retired from the mortgage industry, and I said, okay, I know mortgages, so let me teach them home ownership, and then I'll help them find the properties that best fit them and make sure they're getting into great properties for
Wow.
longevity or to transfer over to their family members.
Wow. So you're a true entrepreneur, and you know, you know how to build a business. You know, you
Yes,
start at the fundamentals. You got to have good credit, you know, before
yes,
you, if you where you thought you
yes.
have good credit, but you did want them to have good credit, although
I
some of them
did.
couldn't qualify. So
Yes.
you started with the credit, and then
Hmm.
you built on all of that, and
Yes.
so um, have done, you know, phenomenal work in the business, and you have moved up the ladder, uh, and you know, because you've got that entrepreneurial mind, you know,
Yeah.
there's a twist to it, and you offer a lot of products to help people that most, you know, people in real estate don't really think about.
Well, and the reason is this. Um, it's a lot of things we don't know. It's a lot of things, individuals, not even looking at a race. It's a lot of things we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've learned is real estate has helped a lot of people become millionaires and billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Besides stock, real estate has done that. And so I teach, I educate, and I have a lot of classes that I teach on real estate investing. What does that look like? What does it look like as far as renting out your properties? How do you can do that without always having to do 20%? What does that look like? So I teach and I educate on real estate investing. I teach them on how to put the right renters in your properties, how to use Section 8. Section 8 is a great tool. So I
Mm-hmm.
teach them how to use Section 8. And so right now, I've been afforded the opportunity to travel to other states to teach the beauty industry how to not only just be makeup artists, how to just be hairstylists. I'm now traveling to New York, Miami, and different places of educating these women and men of how to use real estate to get further along in their journey of life. And so that's what I'm doing now, is speaking across this nation, educating our people, everybody in different industries, of how to use real estate to get ahead.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that absolutely phenomenal. So what does your dad think about this now?
My dad is a great supporter. He sees it, and I'm telling you, he is constantly like cheering me on. Him and my mother. My mother. So if I have something, my mother gonna be there. She don't care. She coming. My dad is very happy. He always says he's very proud of his children. So it's always good to make your parents look good. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you can. I'm a product of my parents, and so I'm just grateful to God that the teaching that my mother never left, as far as keeping us rooted in God, keeping us rooted in the word, and us living that out now. And when I didn't know which direction to go, whether to come back to San Antonio, stay in Dallas, God was the forefront for me. And I heard him tell me, even now, come back to San Antonio. And I was able to come back and teach the people that I know. And so it's just been a blessing.
Wow. So this is a great story. So you're tuned into TAN TV, and we are highlighting and celebrating women during this Women's History Month. And we're going to take a little break and come right back and talk some more and learn more about Dr. Rock's story.
What a time we had at the Empower Me Wellness Retreat last year. It was an amazing experience for all who encountered it. It's about that time though. Let's get ready for 2025 Empower Me Wellness Retreat Daycation. Meet us, San Marcos, Texas. Registration is open September 19th, 2025's retreat will be a full day packed with wellness sessions, lunch, amazing fellowship, and lots of surprises. We strongly encourage those who plan to come to make a weekend out of it. Get your hotel room, consider a spa day, find a local walking trail, or just stay in your room, rest, and journal. Now that registration is open, grab your mother-daughter friends, grab your girlfriends, or make a solo trip and meet us there to relax, relate, and revive. Don't forget CamillaAntoine.com/retreat.
Wow. Oh, that's going to be an awesome
That
event.
is, I was like, I like that. I love that kind of stuff.
So I know that's right up your alley. You might reach out to them and become a speaker or something for
That would be great. I'll
them.
do.
But because you might be able to help some people there,
Yeah.
from some of your, backstory.
Yes.
So you seem like you're from an entrepreneurial family. So
I am.
so you have a brother, right?
Yes.
And so
I have 3 brothers. I have 3 of those.
so one of them I see on Facebook, right? And
Will.
so yes, and so he's always talking about the things that he's doing at his church.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was your brother. See, people, they see you and they don't really know your family. They don't know.
Right.
And so, so you help a lot in the church. And you help
Yes.
your brother too. And so,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about, the name of your church and what y'all do, and
Yes.
got started kind of.
So yes, my brother is Pastor Will, a vertical church on Thousand Oaks and Nacogdoches. I love my church. Actually, I was living in Dallas, and God sent me back to San Antonio to help, my brother in this ministry. So I'm grateful for that. So yeah, so Vertical Church right now, I lead the women's ministry at Vertical Church. He asked me to lead it, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And because I don't take anything for granted. See, people think, well, that's your brother. It doesn't matter.
Right.
When I step foot in Vertical Church, I am not. I'm his sister still, but however, I'm still a member of Vertical, and I'm there to serve. And
Mhm.
so I was like, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Yes. You love women. Lead the women." And so we have a school. We have a school at Vertical Church. So we are accepting children right now from the ages of, I think, 6 weeks up until about 3 or 4, I think, years old. But you can call the church, they'll be able to tell you. So we have that, and we have so much that we're happening at Vertical right now. And I don't have everything that we're happening. But March 29th, we're having Healing Past Our Trauma. I'm doing that for women. March 29th, 11 a.m. It's a free event at the church. And what I do with the women there is we're going to be talking about healing past our trauma. A lot of women are dealing with trauma right now. Things that we've been through in our past that we think we've gotten over.
Mhm.
Abuse, rape, like I have. And so I created a book because I'm really with this mental health thing right now. And I created this 1-day reset. I created a 3-day reset and a 1-day reset. And in that reset, it begins to ask you questions, because one thing I learned about mental health is journaling is a good thing for people that are dealing with trauma, or everything inside the mental health. Is it grief? Is it depression? And so one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be working through that this month.
Wow.
We're in Women's Month, and so the women, we're going to be working through that on March the 29th. We have our 10-year anniversary. We're 10 years this year. Woo!
Wow.
This month in March, we were 10 years. So our anniversary will be celebrated April the 4th through the 6th. We have the banquet is April the 4th. I already have my outfit for it, so I'm happy. And then
Uh,
April 6th, our bishop from out of Florida is going to be coming in to speak that weekend. So we're very excited that we're 10 years in and we're still going strong.
wow. See,
Yes.
people think and believe, as far as having a career, like your dad thought,
Yes.
before he talked to you about what you wanted to do,
Right.
that you do one thing and you have to do that forever, or
No.
jump from job to job in search of, what your passion might be. Although
Right.
what your passion is, you just sometimes people just won't admit it or they don't want to face it. But you have, been brave enough to step out because even in the Bible, God gave some people one talent, some people 10, some people two. And so you're using, all of the great gifts that God has given you, uh,
Yes.
to, and all of it centers around the same thing, to help people.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
so
Yes.
that's really amazing.
You said it right there. You know what I feel, Miss Laura? I feel that everything that I've done, from helping people with credit, the mortgage industry, being a real estate broker,
Wow.
I feel that everything has led me to where I'm supposed to be right now. From what I mean, I'm still helping people, which is what God calls us to do, to help people. And but what I saw in my early 20s, this is what I saw. I saw me on stages. I saw me on stages, and it was so funny because my husband, when I married my husband, which is such an awesome husband, he had a dream. He had a dream that he saw me on stages, traveling the world on stages. My husband had the
Wow.
dream, and I had let it die what I saw in my 20s because someone told me, had told me something, and I was like, well, maybe I'm not called to that. And God kept reminding me that that's what you're called to. So I
Mhm.
began to pray. And then things, once I came into agreement with that thing, doors started opening in that arena. And then
Mhm.
my husband had the dream. So when I went to my husband, I was like, yo, they just asked me to speak here. Because they asked me last year to speak in Miami for this year. And I said, oh, they just asked me to speak here. They're asking me to do this. And he said, Rock, are you not surprised? I told you I saw it in a dream. So
Wow.
not only if with my husband, not only is God showing me, God is showing my husband. So it
Mhm.
makes it
Getting,
so
getting him
much
prepared. Yeah.
easier. Oh God, it makes it so much easier when God shows your husband. Oh, I don't want to cry. When God shows your husband what you're called to, it makes walking in your purpose so much easier because
Wow.
now he sees the vision. God is showing him. So when I walk it out, he's praying for me. He's covering me. And he said, baby, go do it. Don't shrink back. Because before I got married, Will was that guy. My brother Will was like, Rock, this is who you are. Do this. So God is allowed to go from Will to my husband. What an awesome testimony. That to be able to walk into my house and my husband is not upset that I'm walking in my purpose because God is showing him as well.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a shout out to one of your friends, Nevada King. She said, Raquel, blessings. Love to see it. Keep making an impact.
Thank
So you
you.
have
Hey,
supported.
Dr. Keeling. Yeah.
Dr. Keeley, yeah, she said, hello, ladies.
What a wonderful lady. I love Dr. Keeley.
And
Love her.
she's been following the whole series the whole time. So a
Yeah.
shout out to Dr. Keeley. I have a lot of things in common. You both focus on helping women and
People.
people with mental health issues.
Yeah, she's awesome with that.
Hmm. And so I am super excited
Yeah.
to have you on to talk about all of these things that people just don't know.
Right. Yeah. Because I was always like, my brothers have always been in the forefront. Like my brothers, two of my brothers are preachers, a pastor. Will is a
Oh,
pastor. Craig, my other brother Craig is he's in the Church of God in Christ, so he's an elder in the Church of God in Christ, and so it's always been them in the front, and I didn't care. I'm like, just let me do my loans, just let me do my real estate. They
right.
was always in the forefront, and I've always been their cheerleader. And Will have always been like, Rock, go forward. And I'm like, no, I'm here for y'all. So yeah, my brothers I have awesome brothers. I'm grateful for that too.
Oh, because they're your protectors too.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
mess with Rock. Y'all got
Mess with
problems.
their sister. Don't mess with their sister.
I know, right?
Dear
So,
sister.
so
Yeah.
this has just been a great conversation because
Thank
you know,
you.
we are touching on things that I didn't know, and I'm sure the viewers didn't
Right.
know. I know that, you in real estate, and I knew that
Yes.
you did some credit repair stuff,
Yeah.
and I heard you talk about investments
Yeah.
and in real estate, but I didn't really know to what extent, and I can just see the passion uh, that you have for doing it,
Yes.
and
Very
it's
passionate.
it's something that's very important uh,
Yes.
for people to learn.
Yeah.
It's amazing what we spend a lot of time in school, but we don't really learn how to live and we learn how to survive, kind of go to college and get
Man,
it.
we get in debt. Get
Right,
in
right.
debt. Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
you don't even get a head start when you go to college. You get loans and stuff,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
you get out, you're in debt.
Ask them to relieve me of my student debt.
I know, right?
Relieve
Uh,
me. But I learned a lot through life because there's so many things, even my degrees, I feel like that they missed it. They missed the mark. It's some things that they didn't teach,
mm.
that they should have had in part of my programs. And a lot of things, some of this stuff need to been taught at high school. But
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt.
yeah, but yeah, some of that stuff, even with my degrees, I'll be like, what are y'all doing? But
Well,
we're
it's
not
about
here for that.
time. They train you to work for them,
That's what they train you
right?
for, you
It's
know.
like it's like a vocational kind of thing. If you want to be a plumber, they train you to do that. If you
Which
want
you
to,
probably should be a plumber versus, I mean, I went to business school. All my degrees are in business.
right?
Every degree I have is in business, organizational leadership. However, it still didn't teach me all the things about business that I needed to
Mhm.
succeed. It
It
did
teaches you
not.
to run their business. It doesn't teach you to run your business.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And
But
so
it helps. It helps.
it
It
helps.
helps.
It
Yeah.
helps to run their businesses.
Right.
I mean, it did teach me how to walk into like a Wells Fargo and then teach them how to turn their business around, how to make it more creative, how to restructure it, organize it. So it did teach me that. So which I can do that with my own company as well.
Wow.
So it did teach that. But
So so you didn't talk about working for someone else.
So, at the age of 23, at the age of 21, 20, I worked for Benson Honda Mazda that was on San Pedro before they
Hmm.
split. Benson Honda Mazda used to be one big company until I think it was Mazda that came in and said, no, we want our own building. So if y'all gonna own us, you need your own building. So I did
Hmm.
accounting. I did accounting for Benson Honda Mazda on San Pedro. And at the age of 23, I think 23, 24, I was like, yo, I can't do this. These women, they were like in their 40s and 50s. They would have been there forever. I said, yo, this
You
is
know,
not
up
my
there.
future. And so I started my first business. And actually the GM of the dealership at that time was my first investor into
Wow.
my business because I didn't want to get out loan. So he invested, and I actually owned two locations of a massage therapy clinic. I
Really?
used to own, massage therapy clinics. I went to school to become a massage therapist in my early 20s, and I owned two locations of that. And I
Wow.
really didn't like it. I really did. I liked it, but I didn't because men would come in there and you already know what that was about. So I was like, yo, let me close this. And then when I closed that, I moved to Dallas after that. And after that, I mean, I got into the mortgage industry after that. Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that we didn't know about Dr. Rock, that she's tried and tested. She
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
get out there and figure it out.
You have to figure it out. You really, if you feel that you're called to business, you gotta figure it out. I love the massage therapy world. My husband would still be trying to get me to massage now. I'm like, no. But no, I do. But I did massage therapy. That wasn't it. But the moment I stepped into the real estate world, the mortgage world, like it's like the firecrackers went off. And it was like, this is where I belong. I'm changing people's lives. I'm helping people pass things that they didn't know was possible. I'm happy because I'm feeling fulfilled because I'm seeing these people change their lives. it was just, and then people, uh, and our, Black people were getting opportunities because it wasn't a bunch of us in the industry. Now it's a bunch of us in the industry, and I'm happy to see that. A lot of young people are in real estate now, but when I started, it was not a lot of us.
Especially brokers too.
No, yeah, no, it
Brokers.
was not a lot of brokers. It was not, except for, it was like a one or two of them, but it was not a lot. And so I'm just grateful for 20 plus years.
Right.
I'm
Bunch
grateful.
of people out there in real estate, they don't, they have other things too, so it's not their focus. But I
Yeah.
know I saw you on there with um, a lady that bought a building. I was like, I didn't know she did
I
commercial.
sell churches. Look, I
Wow.
sell churches. I help churches that are needing to get their first buildings. I help them buy their first buildings. I help churches that are selling and they're trying to get a newer, get a bigger facility. I actually, the church I grew up in was Children's Memorial Church of God in Christ, and one
Really?
of the men,
Really?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, Bishop
Wow.
T.D. Iglehart, my love. And
Yeah.
so one of the men that I grew up in the church with, he was older than me, him and his wife. I just closed on their church. And we
Oh,
just
I know
did
what you're talking about. He used to work for VIA.
he still works
Tim
for VIA.
Davidson. Yes.
Yep, he still works for VIA. I just closed on his church. So I've closed on a lot of churches here in San Antonio. So I love it. I love being
Oh,
able
wow.
to help the church community. So yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Wow. So you have tuned into It's Women's History Month uh, on TAAN TV, and we've been talking to the incomparable, and I mean incomparable, Raquel Bonds Wright,
Yes.
aka Dr. Rock. And so
Hey,
she's gave me a bunch of information about, what I didn't know, and I'm sure that
hey.
those that are watching, you didn't know it either, because she's doing some phenomenal work. She's a speaker, an educator, an investor, a real estate investor, real estate broker, all of that, and she helps her brother at
Yes.
church.
Vertical
And so
church.
she's a
Hi,
prayer warrior.
Robert.
She's a prayer warrior, and she
Yes.
organizes events for women. She's over the women's ministry.
Yes.
And when do you sleep?
I know. I know. I sit on the board for the church. Yes. You know what? I don't get much sleep. I really don't. So that's why vacation is so important.
Wow. And so you're glowing like you sleep, like
I
a
I don't. I wish I could sleep.
wow.
I probably get about 5 or 6 hours because by the time 4 or 5 o'clock come, it's like it's time to get up and go. Sometimes I try to sleep to 6, but yeah, and yeah, I'm actually about to get out and I'm about to get up and pack because I'm jumping on the plane in the morning.
Wow. So I know this morning I was getting ready. I was posting the announcement
Yeah.
that Raquel was going to be on. She was up. I saw the little green dot, but
Mhm.
I didn't know she was going to text me. And she was saying, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'm like, "Okay, send it
Yes.
here." And so, and it makes a difference,
Yes.
what I had on there and what you are and what you
Yeah.
do. It just made you look totally different. Just
Yeah. Well, that's why when I saw it, I was like, I don't think she knows what I mean.
well, I got it off about on Facebook. I don't.
Yeah, I
I
need to
had
update that stuff. I actually just hired me another assistant, and he's gonna take care of all of that. He's rebuilding my website right now, which I'm so excited. Um,
wow.
yeah, rebuilding my website, our app, so that if you want me to speak, you can go on there and book me to speak. If you want my classes, you'll be able to purchase them.
That's
Everything is gonna happen in this site, and then of course the app will follow it. So you'll be able to get on the app and take the classes that we have. Anything from mental health will be on there. So it'll just be so much stuff that people will be able to get in one area, one place. So
wow.
yeah.
So if people want to get in touch with you, you're talking about this new website. What is that?
It's
Uh,
it's going to be called, well, it's already called ask doc rock RAQ.com, ask.rock.com. So that's what the site is going to be. So right now, the site is being worked on. It's going to be beautiful. I'm so excited. It's going to be beautiful. So it's being worked on right now. But I mean, hey, call me. You can call me, text me. I'm
And so,
available.
and on social media, how can they?
So
How
on
can they?
social media, my Facebook is Raquel Bonds Wright. They won't let me change my name. I don't know why. It's Raquel Bonds Wright on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Ask Raquel. Ask
Okay.
Raquel on Instagram. And I'm learning the TikTok stuff. I got a TikTok that one of my people at the time started for me. So I got to get on TikTok, and we're working on our YouTube. So we got everything working. We're coming
Wow,
along.
great. That's great. So just one step at a time,
Yes.
and you know that more than anybody else because you know
Yeah.
you started from the bottom. Now you're here.
Started from the bottom. Now I'm here.
This is
And I'm
gonna
going there.
I know, right? And our theme is
Yeah.
we're hot. So, thank you so much for stopping by for a
Yes.
few minutes to share your story with us. Happy Women's History Month. It's Women's History Month, y'all, and we're going to be
Yay.
interviewing people every day
Awesome.
the month of March. And we're super excited to have you on.
I'm grateful that you asked me. Oh my God, because it was good to see you the other day. So I thank you. You've been in the industry a long time. You have been out here in the community building other people for years. Like you said, sisters in business. You have been a catalyst for the people for a long time. If people don't know you, they need to know who you are. Let me interview you. Because you, and actually your mother was my gym teacher at Sam
Wow.
Houston High School. But
Wow.
was it Sam Houston or Martin Luther King? One of the
Martin
two.
Luther King. Martin Luther
Martin Luther
King.
King.
Yes.
And Martin
Yes.
Luther King. Your mother was my gym teacher. But no, you've been in this thing a long time. You've helped many people get where they are. So let's not negate who you are, Miss Laura Thompson.
Well, thank you. It's what I think that's my calling. It's what I enjoy doing.
Right.
I have been doing some different things, and this just interviewing these women for Women's History Month, put me back into perspective. You know,
Yes.
why I even started TAAN TV.
Right.
To highlight women, or highlight people,
White people.
and give amplify voices and give people a platform to tell their stories.
Yes.
So appreciate you coming
Okay.
on. I might take you up on an interview, maybe at the end of the month.
Whatever you need me to do, I'm here. And if I can just say one more thing, March 29th. If you are a woman and you want to come out on March 29th, we have healing past our trauma. That's what it's called. I'm actually going to post the video this week. It'll be a link to register. It is free. We're going to have breakfast. And I think that if any woman is dealing with anything, needs healing in any area, come out and let us, as a sisterhood, let us gather around and we're going to pray together.
Wow.
But we're definitely going to go through some steps. So if you're free, come out March 29th, come be my guest at 11 a.m. And if you don't get to register, still show up. I got you.
Okay.
You're
So
my
it's
guest.
11 to what?
It's going to be from 11 to 2.
Okay.
Because we're
Okay.
going to have breakfast. We're going to do a couple of exercises, privately exercises, and then we have a speaker for that hour.
Wow. So
Yeah,
that's
for the last hour.
phenomenal. So thank you, the
You're welcome.
incomparable Dr. Rock. We appreciate you, and good luck on your travel. Safe
Thank
travels.
you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I wouldn't have it without having you on there because your voice is important.
Thank you.
Uh, so you've been tuned into It's Women's History Month, y'all, on TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach. And thank y'all for watching. And Dr. Rock, thank you for sharing your story. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.